And hello YouTube, this is Thomas Judge back once again with another video, which is another custom bind project that I've done, and in this case another Valiant Deluxe hardcover. What we're looking at today is actually a deluxe hardcover for the Faith series. This is Faith Deluxe Edition 1. I have a video on my channel covering it in a fair bit of detail. This is the one we've seen. This is here for size comparison purposes, because today what we're actually looking at is Volume 2. Now, a few bits and pieces here. I've designed this. Obviously, we can see it's the same size. Let's just put it side by side. We can see it's there. It's actually the same thickness as well, which is nice. Obviously, a very different spine, although it does have the Valiant banner at the top, but then the spine itself is quite different. And then the back, this is the back for Volume 1, and this is the back that I designed. Or took off a trade paperback rather. We'll talk about this a bit more in just a second, but just to say, I am conscious that this now, I guess, deviates a little bit from the normal trade paperback design, deluxe hardcover design, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One, it's very tricky to do these kinds of designs, especially if you haven't got a graphic design background like I don't have. I also don't use AI or any of those sorts of things to do these things. I want to do it myself for a variety of reasons that I don't want to dive into on the channel. So I've been doing all this myself, and there's certain things like sort of putting a second deluxe edition 2 thing there, which is just a bit tricky to do in terms of matching up fonts and things like that. And similarly, sorting out the spine so it was a matching pattern would have been really difficult. You'll notice that the official deluxe editions have this very subtle diagonal hatching, which is really hard to replicate. And then similarly, getting all this sort of stuff lined up would have been quite tricky. So what I've gone for is something a bit different, and I think it works fine on the basis that a lot of the later official Valiant Deluxe Edition hardcovers have different kind of discontinuous spines anyway. So that's fine. I'm happy with that. I also quite like this back. This is taken from a trade paperback volume that's collected in here. And I quite like the general style. It's kind of in keeping, slightly different. It's got some of the hatching, it slightly hasn't. I quite like it. I'm quite happy with this. What this is, I believe this is the blurb taken from the what was I going to say? Future Force, Faith in the Future Force, which is contained in here. And I just kept this as is. I didn't want to mess around with the fonts and so on because it's difficult to do and it's kind of a hassle. So with that out of the way, I'm going to put this to one side and let's have a look at the custom. So first things first, let's pop open the dust jacket. Nice plain black inside. What I've got here is just a bit of a blurb that I wrote there in an impact style font. And then here, so this is the blurb for the third trade paperback in the Faith volume series. I should have probably said this contains the first 2 trade paperbacks in that series and the Hollywood and Vine mini. So then this contains the third trade paperback in that series. It then also contains Faith in the Future Force, as mentioned here, and it then also contains Dreamside. But you know what? I'm going to take the dust jacket off and show you what's actually contained in here. So, keeping in mind this is deluxe oversized format, let's have a look. So it starts off with trade paperback volume 3 of the Faith ongoing, which is called The Faithless. That's actually where I got the cover image from for this. And that's Faith number 9, 10, 11 and 12. And it finishes off the whole arc. I really enjoyed Faith. And I really liked the way that this story kind of pulled it all together and tied together the first volumes. The fact that we didn't actually get a second Faith Deluxe Edition hardcover is both criminal and slightly baffling, because from what I gather, Faith is really, really popular, and was really popular. So I just don't really understand why we didn't get one. Here we have it. So that's the first volume, Faithless. Then we have Faith in the Future Force as a separate trade paperback. Again, I've covered this on my channel as a series to kind of talk about it in a bit more detail. And yeah, loved Faith in the Future Force. This was such a freaking cool series. It was just so good, so good. Yeah, it's always kind of surprising to me that this did make its own deluxe hardcover. I guess there's, real world Twitter politics around it. People talking about things like forced diversity because she's a plus size superhero and so on. I generally ignore all that. Anyone that uses the term forced diversity is generally someone who doesn't understand what diversity is, so I don't really bother getting into it. People are just people, I suppose. So that's the second trade paperback. And then the third one that I put in here is Faith Dreamside, which is a crossover with Dr. Mirage, as you can see here. Hang on. What do I have? I do have a contents. So this is Dreamside 1 to 4, and then a gallery. So yeah, this is what this looks like. A bit of a crossover with Generation Zero as well. No spoilers, but that's in there. And yeah, it's a 4-issue series. Really enjoyed it. Not quite as good as Future Force, but still loads of fun. Generally, really liked Faith. Would have happily seen more from her. And I think Jodie Howard did a great job writing her. And then this is the gallery. This is kind of a combined gallery from all the trade paperbacks. These are all the different bits of cover art and design art and everything that are kind of... I love Neela Time Walker. Awesome. And this is all kind of just put together. Anyway, enough of the story itself. If you want to know more about it, there are videos on my channel covering it in more detail. Let's have a look at the custom bind. As you can see, it's come out really well. I mean, the quality of the printing is great. The quality of the binding is great. Yeah, I mean, this looks like a legitimate, official, oversized hardcover. I'm really happy to have this in my collection. Let's get the usual housekeeping out of the way. I will get a whole bunch of questions sent to me via comments or tweets or emails of people asking if they can buy it. No, you can't. How do you make it? There's a playlist on my channel. How much does it cost? I'll say around about £100, give or take. Getting this done costs at least twice as much as buying an official deluxe hardcover. So this isn't an easy and simple way to kind of cheat the system. This is in fact slower and more expensive and a pain in the neck. This is something purely the province of fans. What else can I say? Yeah, people are always asking how they do this. There are detailed playlists on my channel on how to do it. If those playlists don't explain enough to you, then frankly, doing this sort of thing is probably beyond your ability level. And it is difficult, and it is a hassle. It's not to be patronising. It takes a lot of time to get all the images, to put everything together, to design it. Like, it's very much a labour of love. So yeah, here we have it. I just love it. I'm really glad with how it's come out. As you can see, the binding is really nice sewn binding we've got going on. Yeah, just generally really happy with this. Right, let's pop the DJ back on. Hope these overview... Oh, I went for like a red and blue thing. I don't know why I did that. Why did I do that? I don't know, I just did that for some reason. I went for a red and blue kind of motif. I hope these overview videos are okay. I've done like a short burst of them, and I've tried to keep them quite short and sweet, but at the same time, I want to make sure that they cover everything that people are curious about. I think this covers everything. As I say, if you're interested in the stories themselves, there's a much more detailed videos in my Valiant to the Last playlist that covers the actual stories and talks about them. But I just want to talk about the bind quality, the process, and show you what it looks like here. As always, I assume you want to see it on the shelf. And here is the shelf. Here is a conspicuous gap next to Faith Volume 1. Let's have a look at it. Let's stick this in. What does this look like? Oh, very snug. Oh, that's a tight fit. Oh, that's a tight fit. Yeah, I should probably just do nothing but thirst trap videos. Oh, there you go. Was it good for you? Alright, thanks for watching everybody. As always, please like, comment, subscribe. As always, please follow me on Twitter at @IamThomasJudge, where I will post a daily review of whatever comics I've been reading. You can get an idea of what I'm up to on the channel. And as always, please support the channel by heading over to Amazon.com and checking out my prose novel about superheroes. It's a completely original piece of work. The first episode in it is called Arrivals, and the series as a whole is called No Gods or Kings. You can find an excerpt of that on my website, nogodsorkings.com. Until next time, everybody, stay classy.